Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. This is the daily forecast for all signs. I do speak in broad terms, so you have to figure out if and where it fits in your life. If it doesn't fit, that's okay. It doesn't mean anything's wrong or broken. You just might be working on something different. This reading is originally created for Monday, the 19th of September. It is not solely set for that date. If you're seeing it on a different date and it still pertains to a situation or a relationship or whatever that you're dealing with, by all means utilize the reading. For those of you that are new, please check out my drop-down menu underneath any of the daily videos. In there is information about the channel that I want you to be aware of, what decks I'm using, how to follow me on social media, and contact me for a private reading, and simple ways to support the channel. Ways to support the channel are easy. Just hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, share the videos out with your friends, and leave me a question or comment. Now, let's get into these cards and see what's going on this week. The weekly reading, I'll be referring back to the Sunday reading. That populates in the lower left-hand corner at the end of this video, so if you hear me talking about cards that you don't see, that's where I'm referencing back to, so you can check out that reading too. This week feels like it's going to be very transformative, let's say that. Let's see what the card is. So our card for the day is the Emperor. Jesus, we cannot get away from the Emperor. Emperor is Aries energy. He knows what he wants. He knows how to get it. He knows what his expectations are around getting it. Underpinning this from the Sunday reading is that Nine of Cups. And with the theme of what I saw in the Sunday reading, this is about keeping that steady distance that I was talking about. And you're going to have to refer to the Sunday reading to understand what I mean. But this is about keeping our eyes trained on what it is that we want, what it is that we desire, how we want it to play out, and not expecting anything less. Holding true to our values, what we deserve, what we know to be true for ourselves, and expecting that. Now, the Emperor's eyes are trained to the future in this card. He's not facing us forward like he normally is. And he is associated with the sign of Aries, which is a somewhat impulsive sign, but it's also a sign of taking action. When I see him seated here, though, this might be, sometimes when we take inaction, that is an action in and of itself. And what I think is going on with the theme of this week's readings is that, we're supposed to take care of ourselves, especially in this early part of the week and through the midweek. There's something going on with the cards from the Sunday reading that say that we don't want to get too close to the fire, so to speak. The Emperor is not going to allow himself to. He's going to have high expectations. He is the loving father, but he's somebody that you cannot cheat or cut corners with or do things half-assed, right? He's got a clear idea of how he wants it to be and how it needs to play out, right? We should have that within ourselves today, is what this is telling me. We should remain in a place of authority and true to our values, our boundaries, our beliefs, all of that, and our desires, without necessarily giving that up. We have the emotional soundness of the Nine of Cups underpinning this, so we should feel pretty self-assured about how to maintain, whether it be boundaries, principles, desires, all of that sort of stuff we should be able to maintain and hold true to. I feel like this is a position of strength for us, but again, he is giving me, with this seated position, he's giving me this idea, I don't know why, but I feel like this week we're sitting on the sidelines, we're watching something happen. I almost feel like he has a front row seat to that Tower card that we see in the midweek. So prepare yourself, right? Fortify yourself in a sense, mentally, physically, spiritually. Understand what you deserve, what is correct for you, what is right for you, and hold true to that, what you feel that truth is, right? Because that's the Nine of Cups underneath this. Remember, the word is trust for this week. And so trusting in the power and the aptitude of the Emperor is going to be key. We need to know that we have this wisdom, this ability to expect the best, to perform to our best, to give our best, but not necessarily to do it for anyone else. Remember, the Emperor has high expectations, but he will, in a sense, employ the correct people. If somebody isn't living up to those expectations, or if, that Tower situation feels like something's going on for somebody around us, if they're not doing it like the way that They need to be doing it. It's not ours to fix, is my feeling. And the Emperor is not going to step in and help. He's going to be, you know, kind, compassionate, but he's going to be like, this is what you need to do. If you don't listen, it's on you kind of vibe. And so keep that in mind today. The next card, or this is the, oh Jesus, okay. This is from the Shamanic Medicine Oracle cards. We have not seen this card yet, and I absolutely love it. I love when I find a pretty death card. This is a beautiful death card. And it's transmigration. And this is that tower moment that's coming in the midweek, guys. This is one of the prettiest death cards I've ever seen. I love the purple color because the purple color reminds me of not only royalty, which connects to the Emperor, but it also is a spiritual color. It's like with your seventh chakra, your knowing, right? Your connection to your higher understanding. The Emperor is very connected to that in an action-oriented way, but he's also fire, Aries energy, which is connected to spirit, right? Death transmigration is just a transformation or a change, moving from one perspective into another, one way of being into another, right? Facing sort of the light or the truth of a situation and then acting accordingly, correctly. That's going to be the Emperor's actions. Our feelings underpinning this is the Nine of Cups. We're complete, we're whole, we know what we need to do, right? And if that means that a situation or how we're perceived or whatever is changing or dying off or transforming, so be it. The Emperor doesn't care, right? He doesn't answer to others in that sense. He answers only to himself. And the Nine of Cups would be about that too, is that sort of belief in oneself and not necessarily needing the input from others. Does that make sense? So let me read you death. Don't be scared, for the death card marks the beginning as well as an end. You have been avoiding letting go for fear of losing something you hold dear. Death appears now to encourage you to surrender. You will not be alone as you move through a portal into the next and glorious stage of the cycle called life. Once you push through this change and take the first unfamiliar steps of your journey, you will find you have brought everything you need with you. That would be the Emperor's ability too. Death encourages you to let go of old patterns and behaviors that are no longer welcome and to take a risk. Fear has prevented you from experiencing a new life you've been longing for. A shamanic knowledge of the transference of energies enables the skills, knowledge, and wisdom acquired through your experience and lessons learned to journey with you. Your guides from the spirit world will remain by your side. Transmigration ensures you will emerge wiser and more powerful than ever before as you face change and leave behind the old familiar form. Death revealed. Marcus Aurelius believed in the transmigration of souls and the indestructibility of matter. Pythagorean philosophy taught students of the ascent of the soul towards the one. Plato and Socrates implied the relocation from one life body to another. The Druids taught a doctrine of reincarnation and that life knowledge could be passed to another adept or student. Newborns are often recognized as the soul of an ancestor within native tribes and clans. Other divinatory meanings: let go and surrender. Your tendency for control does not serve anymore. Change your perception and see the bigger picture. Everything is working out perfectly. Familiarity is not a reason to hold on to the old. New life awaits. You are ready to move on. Trust. And that's the stone this week, guys, is trust. And also shapeshifter is about perspective. So when it says here, change your perception and see the bigger picture, that's that shapeshifter card that we saw yesterday that underpins all of this. Death speaks. Surrender fears and doubts to me. Transmigration is the key. A new form now awaits you. Death ends the old to start anew. So what I'm going to say, guys, is that if we're the one going through this tower experience this midweek, this death card is signifying, like, prepare for it. You have the strength and the ability to navigate it with the Emperor here. If this is happening to someone else around you, stay on the sidelines, stay in your self-control, stay in your, high love expectations. Not even expectations, but, holding space for them without maybe placing expectations on them could be key too for the Emperor. There's just a bit of a detachedness to the Emperor that we might need to want to maintain as we watch something die off, change, transform, transmigrate into something new. Looking at it from the greater picture is going to be key. That's where the trust factor comes in from the grounding stone. And as we trust, that trust allows us to move with the destruction of the tower rather than against it. If we resist it, that's when we have the pain. What's that famous phrase that I love to say with the tower? Let go or be dragged. And it's so true. If towers are happening in our lives, where things are, or around others' lives, let it go and let them be let them drag themselves if they can't let go, if they can't change, if they can't be malleable and open to the change. And if we can't, then we need to get open to that change. The other thing I will say is that this emperor is wearing a crown, which there was a crown falling in the tower card from Sunday's reading, but I feel like we still maintain that crown through this tower experience, regardless of what it is, depending on how we handle it, how we hold ourselves through this experience, whether it's happening to us or to another that we love dearly. Let's look to the clarifiers really quick. So we have the Two of Cups. There's that love that we feel so dearly. We might be seeing ourselves in another person. We might be, connecting. And remember, the Sunday reading ends in the Lovers too. We can hold space for someone and keep safe distance and still love them, care for them, support them, and bring about healing when we see the Catechist here. We're not, just because a death is transpiring or a tower moment is happening doesn't necessarily mean a disconnection is happening. I actually get a feeling that this connection is deepening because we see the Lovers at the end of the week. So this says, love yourself enough and the other party or whatever's going on to allow it to transform, to ease into the transformation, to embrace it, and to allow it to inform you or show you who you are and what you're made of. The next is the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is very slow forward movement and energy, right? But it's going to be cautious. It's going to be, what's the word? Intricate, paying attention to every detail. Now, this Knight of Pentacles has two different meanings as I'm looking at it. This is us being careful with what steps we take moving forward, and those steps being made out of love of the Two of Cups, but not necessarily jumping to conclusions or making any rash movements, right? Weighing everything, looking at every option, and then moving forward slowly or carefully. The other aspect to this is if this tower moment is happening to somebody that we care about and we love deeply, they may be struggling and stuck. That could be this Knight of Pentacles energy too. Trust that if they are stuck or they're not moving forward out of fear or whatever's going on for them, soon they will, and they should find the right decision once they weigh all of their options. It may just take time and some patience. Now, the last card is the Star. Now, the Star is the piece that follows after the Tower. It's the next card after the Tower in the Major Arcana. This is about, I think, maintaining our own peace during this time of turmoil if it's happening to another. If it's happening to us, maintaining and holding on to that peace, staying grounded and steady and centered in love is going to help to assist us in that trust that we need to have this week as these things transform and change. Does that make sense? But this piece also, this Star indicates that after this Tower moment, the Star will show up. The tranquility, the peace, the love restores itself. We have to have faith that they will find their way through this. Okay. The next, and let's go to the grounding stone. I almost want to say I feel like we have found our way through this with the Nine of Cups and the Emperor leading into this week. We already have this piece. It's like we need to wait for them to find it within themselves. The word is desire. Now, when I think about desire, it definitely connects to the Aries energy of the Emperor, that fire energy. There's also desire in the Two of Cups. But what I think desire here is what is the highest, if we're looking at someone else like spinning down a toilet bowl or going into a death cycle or a tower moment, what would be our highest desire for them? Now, not necessarily taking action to make that happen for them, but holding that picture or that hope, that trust that what we desire can be the outcome, even if the situation appears to be going in a different direction or in a direction that seems undesirable. Holding our focus, the Emperor is trained on what it is he wants. He will expect nothing less. Holding our focus on that desired outcome of love, stability, and peace. We can have that even through these transformative moments of death and the tower. But we have to maintain our cool, calm, collected sort of perception, our authority, our boundaries, stay grounded, and expect nothing less than what it is that we desire, even as the situation changes and transforms in front of our very eyes, right? All of this is available to us. These three clarifiers are not necessarily bad clarifiers. They're actually quite steady, peaceful, and calm and loving, but it's not necessarily about getting involved. Let's just say that. It's not about jumping in and you're not Captain Save-A-Ho this week. Let's just say that, okay? If somebody's falling to the wayside or going through turmoil, you can love and support them, but you have to do so in a way that protects you first and honors your boundaries and your desires, and trust that that is the right decision, even if you're hearing something different from them and their needs. That is your forecast for the day. I hope it makes sense. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow to see how this plays out. It's going to be a crazy week. All right, take care. Thank you all, guys, for your views. I really do appreciate it. Please hit like. All right, take care. Bye-bye.